Okay, Chris says, have you ever run into a situation where you burned through your list of prospects who were already paying for leads? If so, how did you pivot to overcome it? Here's what I know is you can never fully burn a list, okay? The only way you could burn a list is if you like offended somebody's family. So what I mean by that is this. People used to think this exact same thing when I was doing sales teams door to door. You'd put them in a neighborhood. What they would do is I would drop them in a neighborhood and they would go and they'd hit all the doors and it would be like, yes or no, yes or no, yes or no. And they would literally get through an entire neighborhood in 2 days. Keep in mind, we're there for like 4, 5, 6 months. We have to milk this area. One time for 3 years in a row, we went to Bentonville, Arkansas. It's like the population is teeny. But what would happen is people would go in, they'd burn an area, just like you're saying. And it's true. It's something that people get worried about. And you know what I would do as the manager is I'd say, okay, who are the rookies? And there's some rookies you knew they weren't very good. And I would literally go into their neighborhood about a week later and I'd say, hey, my flyer guy dropped in here. His name's Dakota. Did he happen to talk to you? His name was Dakota. Dude, here's what's interesting, Chris. That's why I'm telling you this. 90% of the people that I talked to couldn't even remember the conversation. 90%. So what I'm saying is you can do a couple things. You could call from a different number or your same number. I bet they didn't save it. You could try a little bit different approach. Number one, hey, did Chris, or you don't have to say Chris, hey, did one of my guys call you last week about sending you a job or whatever? You can say that. You don't have to say that. You could take a little bit different approach and you'll be surprised how many people don't even remember. You caught them on a bad day. Okay, you're gonna need to mix it up a little bit. You don't want to go with the same pitch a week later. The other thing you could do is what we also would do, which is give it a little time, let some time pass, and then go re-knock it, aka go back through that list. When I have people go back through lists that have been burned, I don't give the new guy going through the old guy's list his notes because I don't want him thinking,
oh, this guy was a dick to Dakota, so now he's gonna be a dick to me.
I just give him a fresh list. Sometimes I don't even tell them that we called. And you know what's interesting is we'll go and we'll sell a deal. We'll get a client and I'll tell them after, I'll say, like we sold this guy and I'll go look at the notes from the first guy who called through the list. And what's interesting is a lot of times the guy that we sell was a total asshole the first time. It was a bad day. We had a bad pitch, whatever. There's a million things. And we came in, we sold him, and we never would have done that if we would have kept the same list and we would have said, oh,
he's a douchebag. He doesn't have any money.
I just start from scratch. So my advice would be give it some time, go back through the list, maybe start another project, go hit that one, then come back with a fresh perspective, or call again from a different number, maybe take a little bit different angle, try something different. These lists are never burned. The only time you burn it is if you offend their family, which I'm saying that because that's impossible to do. I don't think you can burn a list. I know what you're saying, but don't let that stress you out. So maybe what you need to do is put on pause, go to a new area, so to speak, a new project, go call that one, and maybe come back. Another idea is try towns surrounding, people that are out of town that cover that area. So maybe you go, let's say you're in, let's give a good example here. Okay, so you're in Phoenix and you're looking for somebody in Mesa, which is a suburb. There's no one in Mesa. You burned your Mesa list. Well, you know what I can do is I can go look at a list and see if I can find anyone different in Phoenix or in Gilbert or whatever. Maybe they just don't show up for Mesa and they still cover that area. So that's another idea. And you actually are in Arizona, so it's kind of ironic. In our heads, we think that they remember it. It's just the same, like they don't even think about it. They're just like, nope, nope, nope. They hang up, they move on, they go get their beer and go watch their TV show and whatever the hell else they do. They're not thinking about you, which is a great thing. Just go pitch them again. Oh, there we go. Danielle says, call with an accent. Hell yeah. I got some accents for you guys. I could roll with that. Or call the business partner. That's a great idea too. Or if you have a business partner, have your business partner call, or have another guy that you just hired call. I mean, there's a ton of different ways, but I think the first thing I would do for speed, just put it down, put the list down. Don't worry about it. Go do another area, go do another site, go work that list and come back. That's what I would do.